It's time, gamers. It's time for the news, and we actually don't just have dual pistols for Guardian. We also have some really upbeat news for World versus World that we're gonna package into this video, because why the hell not? But here we go. Armed with dual pistols, Guardians rain down bullets of justice. That's right. It's Guardians' time to step into the limelight, wielding not one but two pistols as their new weapon. It's going to be condition damage. It's going to be bleeding and burning on this one. And once again, we have some very cool synergy. And this one actually has some really cool roleplay. It's going to be very much revolving around the third skill. The third skill plops down a symbol, and then whenever you fire projectiles, even projectiles from other skills, like, say, sword or greatsword or whatever, that will also give you bonus effects. It will empower the symbol, and it will ignite those projectiles, causing them to set on fire. So you can see what we're talking about here, right? You plant a symbol on the ground that damages enemies. Wow, very unsurprising. But striking an enemy within the symbol or firing a projectile through it, the symbol then will apply burning whenever it pulses. And firing a projectile through the symbol causes them to ignite, so you get extra burning on those projectiles. Really cool skill, lovely interaction. You can kind of think about it as like a guaranteed combo field that you'll always activate with your abilities. And the way this is worded seems to really reward you for like fast hitting attacks, right? Which is kind of what you might expect to have on a pistol. And honestly, a lot of other Guardian abilities as well also have like kind of bursty abilities and fire out a bunch of projectiles. I've got a lot of multi-hits. So there's some potential where you could use other weapons to also kind of activate this symbol for like massive burning spikes here as well. So fun skill to use there, I think. The auto attack is a big pierce. And they kind of use talking about the auto attack here to talk about the fact that all of these skills are going to be AoE. This is going to be a big AoE, or at least like a piercing ranged conditioned weapon for the Guardian, which definitely does fill an important role. Like, Guardian weapons are a bit weird. Like, Scepter used to be really good for a lot of these builds because it multi-hit a lot, but then it got nerfed. Right now we've got Axe, of course. But there's no real, like, ranged condition damage weapon for Guardian. And there almost kind of hasn't ever really been one. Certainly not for the main hand. Now we do have that with these pistols in the offhand. As you might expect, this is going to be a bit of a shoe-in to a lot of the current condition damage Guardian builds. You know, looking at something like your Willbender or Firebrand, both hands as well, right? Like offhand and main hand. Could be a bit awkward with Torch, because Torch has that proc, the extra Zealot's Flame, so you might have to navigate around that to get some value. Might be a bit awkward sometimes, but it's honestly not too bad, actually. As long as you kind of sync up the two casts, you can usually weapon swap back in time to kind of get that. So a different rotation there. Like, maybe you get really crazy. You have like an Axe main hand and a pistol main hand. Although I actually think that's somewhat unlikely, because Axe, the auto attack is really strong on Axe. The symbol is good as long as you have the trait for it, like the second skill. But there actually could be some good build differentiation here. Like, maybe if you have the Axe trait, you might want to take the Axe. Otherwise, the pistol might be good because its auto attack is probably going to be pretty decent. And we'll have some synergy, of course, with that symbol ability as well. And speaking of synergy, you have the fourth skill here, actually, which is the Hail of Justice, which is the offhand 4 skill, I believe. And you can kind of see it here. We can have a look at, here we go. Yeah, pew, 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 layer. Hail of Justice. So you fire out a bunch of projectiles, which obviously has great synergy with the toolkit, and also applies bleeding. And again, Guardian also in general, because of how burning works from the passive proc of Virtue of Justice, loves fast-hitting attacks, right? Because you get those extra burning stacks from like landing all these attacks in sequence. So it could be very bursty, like a lot of damage coming out of this as well. So that's kind of a cool skill. Pretty standard skill. You know, it's a standard skill, but it is what it is. You know, it's going to be big DPS, a plethora of damaging conditions to your enemy in a short period of time. And there is actually a bit of a tease here. Check this out. You'll notice that this skill here doesn't sound like anything that they're talking about in this post. And you would be right. This appears to be the 5th skill. And the devs here say that they are particularly excited about the 5th and final skill to tease us. They'll show that off on the live stream as well. But check this out. So it appears to be a long, massive charge up that fires out this like epic blue projectile of flame. So expecting that to be pretty big. It might even do power damage, or have like a decent power damage component, because any skill that has a wind up that long, if you land it, you want to be massively rewarded, right, for landing this kind of cannonball. that gets fired out of the pistol there as well. Because that is the offhand, as you can see, by the way. It's the offhand pistol, and we already know what the 4th skill is. This looks like it's going to be the 5th skill, of course. So maybe that's like your big blaster move. And, you know, it is worth talking about, actually. I think that this build does have some potential in competitive game modes as well, like some of these weapons here, too. Again, that is a new opportunity for something like a Burn Guardian to exist. I think the Celestial Guardians are probably going to be horrific in World vs. World with this, too. So good luck with that one, World vs. World Roamers. That's going to be fun. I know you guys are already enjoying Willbender, so now it's going to have Pistol and potentially some new, incredibly powerful abilities to hybrid you down even harder than they already did. So that's going to be good. But yeah, actually looks like a really fun weapon set. I think this is definitely one of those weapons that really does fill a pretty gaping hole in the arsenal of a profession. Guardian did not really have the ability to do anything like this before, and this is really going to mix things up a little bit. And range is always good, right? Like, this could definitely help out Firebrand in PvE, because being range just gives you so much uptime as DPS that, you know, Quickness Firebrand, DPS Willbender, it's going to have some pretty juicy uptime now. Willbender kind of does have to dash around a little bit, so it might be a bit awkward, but yeah. This looks like a really cool weapon. You know, this is going to be big. It's going to be content. It's going to be gameplay. It's going to be justice. That, my friends, is what it is going to be. But yeah, this is cool. Particularly that 3rd skill. I just love the idea, because what's going to happen, right? Especially in competitive modes, and honestly in instance content too, actually, because when mechanics happen, your position will be disrupted. You're gonna, like, if your enemy moves a little bit, you're going to want to reposition so you're always firing through your symbol. I think that's such a fun interaction. Like, this is what I really hope this type of design continues into weapon reworks and actually balance patches in the future. Like, different abilities interacting with each other is something that's been, like, surprisingly lacking in Guild Wars 2, because the original plan for that was that combos would basically fulfill this role, but of course that kind of got dissolved as the game went on. This is kind of bringing combo gameplay back, but in a way that kind of makes sense, because in modern Guild Wars 2, there's just too much spam. Like, there's been too much, like, ability creep with super low cooldowns. It's very hard to really get that combo gameplay going, especially in PvE. This is bringing that back by having these basically strict, hard-coded interactions between different abilities. I think that's going to make like playing builds, especially in PvE, I think a lot more fun, a lot more dynamic. Guild Wars 2 combat has felt extremely static in terms of the way you actually play your rotation out for a long time now. And that is because you haven't had this type of interplay between abilities, but now you do. And I think this type of dynamism is going to make the combat system even better than it already is, like even more exciting to play, right? That's very, very good stuff. Very good stuff there. Can't wait to see the 5th skill. I hope it just like one-shots people. You know, I can't wait to see the montages. It's going to be fantastic. Burn Guard. I was going to say it's back, but I'm not going to lie, it didn't really leave. But anyway, it's back even more than it already was. There you go. Enjoy. We'll see that one on the stream. And now it's time. Part 2 of the news. Wow. World vs. World update. Guildhall Arenas and World Restructuring Beta. So, I kind of want to set the scene here. Why did they make this post? Because this post is great, and we're going to get into it. I'm teasing you now. I'm basically doing what the devs are doing, but I'm doing it about a post that's already out. But, yeah, this is a great post. It's very optimistic. I think it's very clear. And the reason this post exists is because the last time they gave us an update about World vs. World Alliances, it honestly sounded like it was over. It sounded like they basically pulled the plug on it, and it was like indefinitely suspended because fuck you. That's why. Good news. And if you did read the original post, you could get that. It was framed quite negatively. That, oh yeah, like we have to stop development on this, like, or whatever. Like we're pausing development, whatever, while we work on this other thing, basically. It didn't sound good. And there was also a lot of confusion about like what is alliances, what is world restructuring. To be fair, those systems have always been a little bit muddled in terms of communication, but finally we are getting that. The Guildhall stuff we'll let you do at the end. It's just really cool, good news. And we'll have a little bit of commentary on like what this could potentially mean for the game. Actually, there's some potential there that I think ArenaNet should not overlook. But here is the deal, okay? World vs. World Alliances are currently not the main development focus of the World vs. World team. Why? It's because they're going for world restructuring, and they want to get world restructuring in the game as quick as possible. But what are these things? So world restructuring is the concept of deleting servers as how they handle world versus world, and instead replacing that with groups of guilds, basically. So you pick your guild. The matchmaker says, right, you're active at, then there's a bunch of commanders here. You're active at this time, right? Everyone here is like fighting. Everyone here is doing PPT, and it tries to make everyone happy, right? Simple as that, right? It tries to get so stronger servers and stronger groups are going to play against stronger groups. It's going to be the more entry-level groups. They're going to do that, right? Like, so the timings work out, so everyone's playing and it's super active. All that kind of good stuff. It is basically, by far, the most important thing that's happening to World versus World from the gameplay perspective. Alliances are the system that allows those guilds to join together. And it's actually really funny, by the way. The interesting meme here is that alliances actually have a cap of 500, which is the same as one guild. And they correctly point this out. This is a really great statement here. Guilds, as they currently exist, will essentially be alliances. There's not really going to be much functionally different because of the nature of this. You can have 5 guilds, so just make a guild for your alliance if you want to have everyone in it, right, from multiple guilds. Job done, right? Wouldn't be a huge upgrade. The only thing that we're going to be missing out on with alliances, realistically, is the competitive infrastructure. And I do have to say, that is a little bit sad, and I hope we do actually eventually have that, and it will give you some more, like, management features as a leader of an alliance and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the competitive stuff not coming sucks, so probably no leaderboard, probably no kind of, like, reward structure for, like, winning really hard and being the best alliance, on the region. All that kind of good stuff. So less on the why should you win thing yet. So that's going to be a little bit later. They're really focused on the core gameplay experience with World versus World, which I think is a good focus to have, especially because this is an extremely complicated rework. They're fully reworking a core system, right? From more or less the ground up. They're completely changing it in every single way as well. And that will allow them to, again, as I say here, more feedback, playing with the algorithm to make sure the matchmaking is going to work, playing with stuff like balance and scoring, and adding more World vs. World guild information management. So, like, more control to guild leaders, which is always good because the guild panel is very much lacking. And yeah, that is going to be happening in 2024. So there was supposed to be a beta this year, right, in 2023, right at the end of 2023. However, that is not happening. It's going to be postponed while they basically polish the system, and it's going to be the last beta, they think, or, well, I won't say it will be, but they think this will be the last beta in Q1 before they actually unleash World Restructuring into the game permanently. So, basically, that means potentially Q2, we could be seeing World Restructuring, the actual big World vs. World rework, actually in the game, finally. After how many years has it been? I want to say 6 years. Or something like that. It's an absurdly long time this has been in development. So we've got there in the end, guys. There actually is light at the end of the tunnel for World vs. World. I can't believe it. Well, I actually can, to be honest. I can believe it. It's finally actually arriving. So the TLDR of this is that it's looking good for World vs. World. And the rework is on its way. Do not despair. Do not lose hope. And honestly, it's pretty good. But yeah, very good communication here. I'd highly recommend giving this a read through. There's a lot of optimism here, I think. It's framed in a much better way, and I think it does a great job of clarifying exactly what's going on here, right? Like, what has been postponed, what is currently in development. A little bit of a note here as well, and I think this is an interesting change. They were originally going to give free transfers, basically, but that would probably be a bit weird, and I think ArenaNet agrees with that. And that's why they're saying, yeah, if you get into a team, a guild, basically, in one of these seasons, when the worlds get built out of all the guilds, you are not going to be able to transfer until there's a new season or some kind of team creation event. The season's length is going down to 4 weeks to give you a bit more flexibility, but once you're there, you are there. So bandwagoning or, like, kind of ditching your team to kind of is not going to happen. And if you think about that, does make sense, because if the matchmaker says, I'll put all these players together, and then half of them leave to go to another team, that's going to imbalance another match, and the one that they're currently in. So that system doesn't really allow for people to be basically bandwagoning all over the place. That would completely defeat the entire purpose, right? It would defeat the entire point of a system like that. But you will be able to switch every 4 weeks. So that is pretty frequent, to be honest. So I don't think that's really a bad thing, especially because it's going to be free as well, I believe. You won't have to pay gems. So, well, of course not. You just pick a different guild, right? So, easy. I think that's a perfectly respectable, perfectly fine change that I think makes sense given the system that we're currently going into with World versus World. But yeah, that's a TLDR. That makes sense. I will say, if you don't get it, leave a comment and I'll explain it to you in YouTube. Boom. There you go. Or ask it in Twitch chat. Then I'll also explain it to you. And this one's really cool. Check this out. Final bit of news for today. The Guildhall Arena update. Guild halls have long been a space where players can gather together and craft their own unique gameplay experiences. Rollerball race courses, jumping puzzles, Azura football, and more. We are always thrilled to see the creativity of our community at work, and we wanted to give creators a few new tools for the toolbox. Currently, guild halls are limited to using PvE game balance rules, creating a very different combat experience that's what's found in World vs. World or PvP. In January, we'll be adding a new option that allows you to choose whether your guild hall uses PvE, World vs. World, or PvP game mode balance for play. Additionally, we'll be introducing options to allow you to extend PvP combat outside the confines of the guild arena, meaning you can battle your friends across the entire map. Skyscale aerial duels, anyone. Nice meme. We look forward to seeing what you do with your new battlefields when this feature goes live in late January. So we actually already knew about this. They already tell us, but I think it is worth kind of bringing this up now, actually, seeing as we're also talking about World versus World. You can fight anywhere. And I kind of want to actually talk about this. This means you can make your own World versus World Borderland. You won't have towers, right, or stuff like that. And, you know, score and objectives and lords or whatever and capturing. But you can make your own World versus World arena. Okay? That's actually insane if you think about it. Like, I love player-driven content, guys. I used to play real-time strategy games, right? And in those stuff like Warcraft and StarCraft, custom games are actually insane. Like hell, where do you think Dota came from? Like Dota and the entire MOBA genre came from a custom game in real-time strategy games. Player-driven content is fantastic. I'm also a big fan of Roblox as well. It's incredibly powerful. And I really think ArenaNet should push this a little bit. I want to see them go further. I want there to be like a list of like public guild halls that you could clone and get an instance of. So you could like share your roller beetle track and anyone could go and play on it without you having to taxi them into your guild hall. I want to see a guild arena that can be advertised, that guilds can say, you know what, I want to GVG this guild on this arena. I think that stuff is so exciting. That will be such a powerful thing to have in your MMO. I just love that. Especially a game like Guild Wars 2 that is kind of like focused on having this like really wide range of experiences, like loads of different activities. And the fact that we have these mount mini games, like especially the roller beetle, right? Like this seems really cool. The only problem is, and this is where a system like that is tricky, that will probably be a pretty major rework, and this is also a system that ArenaNet can't charge money for. I know that sounds like a meme, but there's a reason why alliances and stuff like the Guildhall updates take ages. It's because it's not a monetized feature. This is like a feature that already exists in the game, and they're going back to update it. So they're not like they're not selling this to you, right? They're not selling World versus World to you because it's already there. So is that likely to see that kind of expansion of this player-driven content system? Honestly, probably not, but I think it would be absolutely sick if they could. And look, the absolute deep dark fantasy would be if they would actually have the ability to even give you some limited control over like scripting. So you could put keep lords. You could essentially create like a full-on like lord GVG game mode. Like you could add NPCs that are assigned to certain teams, for example. So you kind of could have something like that. Now you're really getting into almost like your Little Big Planet stuff, which is also another brilliant game, by the way. Man, the fact that Little Big Planet exists makes me happy. What a beautiful game. Oh my God. I'm tearing up thinking about it. Oh my goodness. But anyway, that kind of stuff I think is fantastic. It's awesome. That would be like another game mode to Guild Wars 2 as if we need another one of those, but it will be really cool actually. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that. A little bit of a very unhinged dream there, talking about the potential of this, but I really do think that there's a lot going on here. And there is something that I feel like ArenaNet should actually lean into a bit more here. Maybe I'm just insane and I just like the beetle racing and the GVG style stuff. But I don't know. Let me know. What do you guys think? What does the chat think? What does the YouTube comments think? I don't know. But that sounds exciting to me. I like this post. Good communication. It's framed positively. It's not making everyone think World versus World is totally dead in the water when it comes to development. It's very clear. More of this. This is very good. And I like the little images too. That's pretty cool. Look at that. You got the different teams. You got the flags going on there. It's pretty cool. But anyway, that, my friends, is the news. Public guild halls. Yeah, that's what we need. We need publicly listed guild halls. Hell yeah. That is the news for today. We got Guardian Pistol. We got World versus World. We got a whole bunch of stuff. And you know what? It was pretty good. As always, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, watch my stream on YouTube, watch my stream on Twitch. Be here, be there, be everywhere. A boba in the chat for the YouTube people. Look what you're missing out on, guys. Do you not want to see these frogs? Look at that frog. He's got a mustache, wearing a little tux. He's wiggling around. Okay, it's good stuff. It's absolutely fantastic stuff. But anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, gamers. I'll see you next time. I'm out of here.